Good morning. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word. I'm Barry Bryson, and we're continuing our study of the three Marys, of three Marys, not the only three, of course, Mary of Nazareth, Mary of Bethany, and Mary of Magdala, and their relationship with Jesus. And we're talking about Mary as mother, and we're in Luke chapter 2. We talked about the shepherds last time. We didn't get a chance to get to the Magi from the east. We'll talk about them next time when we talk about the flight to Egypt. But today we want to watch as they present Jesus at the temple. They're still in Bethlehem, and Bethlehem's a lot closer to Jerusalem than Nazareth is. And as we're going to see there, they are an observant family. They have circumcised Jesus on the eighth day, named him Jesus, just like they were supposed to. And after 33 days, when Mary's time of purification has been completed, then they are going to go to the temple and make their sacrifice because he's a firstborn son. And because they're poor, they do not sacrifice a bull, they sacrifice two pigeons. So that's what we're going to be reading about today. When when 8 days, we're in Luke chapter 2, verse 21, when 8 days were completed before circumcision, his name was called Jesus, the name given by the angel before he was conceived in the womb. And when the days for their purification according to the law of Moses were completed, they brought him up to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord. As it is written in the law of the Lord, every firstborn male that opens the womb shall be called holy to the Lord. And that's in Exodus chapter 13, by the way. And to offer the sacrifice according to what was said in the law of the Lord, a pair of turtle doves or two young pigeons. And behold, there was a man in Jerusalem whose name was Simeon. This man was a righteous man and devout, looking for the consolation of Israel, and the Holy Spirit was upon him. And it had been revealed to him by the Holy Spirit that he would not see death before he had seen the Lord's Christ. And he came into the Spirit, into the temple. And when the parents brought in the child Jesus to carry him out for him, the custom of the law, that he took him into his arms and blessed God and said, Now, Lord, let your bondservant depart in peace, according to your word, because my eyes have seen your salvation, which you have prepared in the presence of all peoples, a light of revelation to the Gentiles. It's Isaiah 52, by the way. And the glory of your people Israel. And his father and mother were amazed at the things which were being said about him. And Simeon blessed them and said to Mary, his mother, Behold, this child is appointed for the fall and rise of many in Israel, and a sign to be opposed. And a sword will pierce even your own soul, to the end that the thoughts of many hearts may be revealed. And there was a prophetess, Anna, the daughter of Phanuel, of the tribe of Asher. She was advanced in years, having lived with a husband 7 years after her marriage, and then as a widow to the age of 84. And she never left the temple, serving night and day with fastings and prayers. And at that very moment, she came up and began giving thanks to God and continued to speak of him to all those who were looking for the redemption of Jerusalem. Well, they obey the law. They come after the 33rd day. They bring their two turtle doves, their two pigeons to make offering for Jesus because he's their firstborn and he's a son. So they are quite observant. They're from the little town of Nazareth. They've been in the little town of Bethlehem, and they're in the big city of Jerusalem at the temple. But it's not the first time. I'm certain it's not the first time. As a family, they're going to be coming every year to the Feast of Passover to Jerusalem. So they are observant. They're going into God's temple, and they're bringing the Messiah into the temple. And there are two people who know this and who tell everyone about it. And one is an older man named Simeon, who his whole life had been told, you're not going to die before you get to see the Messiah. Did he expect to see a newborn baby? I don't know. Jesus was 5 weeks old, 6 weeks old when this happened. But when he saw him, he knew. And he praised God because God keeps his promises and he keeps them through Jesus. And that's the message, the gospel that Simeon shared that day. But he also shared a warning. He told his mother, look, this child is going to challenge everything. He's going to change everything. Many are going to rise, many are going to fall, and many are going to oppose. And a sword is going to pierce your soul too. And I'm sure it felt that way when she saw him on the cross. And then there's an older lady, 87 years old. Some try to add, her marriage age plus 7 years, so say 22 to the 87, um, and make her 109 years old. I don't think she's 87 years old, but she never leaves the temple. She fasts and she prays. She probably had presented a figure not unlike John the Baptist, unkempt and disheveled, not someone who was made up and made presentable for going out, someone who is well known, someone who is a fixture at the temple and known to be a prophetess. And she's telling everybody she sees that she's seen the Messiah and that he is this infant Jesus of Nazareth. Well, he's already becoming famous, even as an infant, and that's going to cause some issues, as we'll see next time. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word.